Hello and welcome to another edition of the Mexican Soccer Show. I'm your host, Cesar Hernandez, and I just realized that I did not create an intro for this episode. So we're just going to cut to the chase. It's the Liguilla. I guess there's little to really figure out beforehand. We know who the teams are. We know the schedule. So let's just get right into it. All right, guys? You guys ready?
Yeah.
That was my impromptu intro. I don't know what you guys thought about that. Yeah.
We shall come back soon.
Yeah, I'm already fired. I don't know what I'm doing. All right. So first game. I just realized I didn't even do the intro for you guys. You know what? Whatever. I'm in charge now. No intro. You know who all three of these guys are. All right. So first
I'm
game.
Johnny Rico.
Alright,
so me naive and that important.
Yeah,
just need to know Johnny.
Well, I already introduced myself, and that's all that really matters. Alright, so guys, so Santos versus Tigres. Let's go over to Johnny first. Johnny, what are your thoughts on Santos versus Tigres? What are some things to keep in mind for this match?
Keep in mind, both teams are from the north, so not a lot of trouble. That's my deep analysis. I guess for overall the series, we gotta keep in mind that the Tigres are not gonna send out their strongest squad come the return leg in Monterrey. Mm-hmm. So I think that's gonna be a huge advantage to Santos. Are they capable of taking advantage of that? I don't know. They got into the playoffs with a lot of luck. They needed to win on the in the last week to secure their spot, and they couldn't do that. They needed to rely on the fact that Cruz Azul couldn't get their job done, Tijuana couldn't get their job done, Monterrey couldn't get their job done, and that Toluca couldn't get their job done. So a lot of luck for Santos. They couldn't take care of their own business, and I don't know if they can take advantage of what Tigres is going to be presenting in the second leg because of their Copa Libertadores schedule.
Yeah, I think it's Tigres definitely going favourite, like Johnny was saying. I think the interesting thing here is if you look at the stats that are on the Liga MX website, it's like Tigres have completed more passes, more possession of the ball, and the highest pass completion rate of any team in the Liga MX. So, you can get an idea of their system. They like to have the ball. They like to pass it around, move it around, and create chances that way. Whereas Santos, exactly the opposite. They've completed fewest passes in the whole league in the Clausura, had least touches of the ball, and the lowest average amount of possession per game. So I think from that, you can see how the game's going to be set up. Santos are going to try and counter. They've got, obviously, Nestor Calderon, if he's back fit, Renteria, Giannini, who are all kind of players really set up for the counter-attack. And I think it was in March when these two played at the Estadio Corona, and it was 2-2. And in that game, Tigres had 71% of possession. So I see it going that way. I think it's absolutely vital. Tigres had the best, won most points at home than any other team as well in the regular season. So I think it's absolutely crucial that Santos take, I think, at least a one-goal lead going over to the Universitario on Saturday. Yeah, I think it's Saturday.
Yeah. Just to add to what Johnny and Tom said. It's been an impressive season from Santos, considering it's the youngest team in Liga MX. It was tough getting to the point that they're in, actually. But with Tigres, it's just spectacular. The sense that you get that they basically have two teams. They have the game against Toluca. They basically just sent out all these young players and practically all the bench, and they still contain Toluca at Toluca. The capabilities that Tigres has, we don't really know the limit. The limit we'll know it probably in the semis and Libertadores when it gets more complicated. And I think with Santos, I don't see Santos that big of a threat for Tigres because it doesn't have a real striker. What I say about a good striker, Giannini and Chuletita Orozco are not strikers that are going to intimidate Hugo Ayala and Rivas and even Juninho, who already is healed and could actually see some minutes. He's already got the permission from the doctor. I think that's one of the doubts that I have from Santos, but it's a good season for them just to be in this position, Santos.
Yeah, and just looking at the stats, I was actually just looking at those stats as well, and I was pretty surprised to see, just how dominant Tigres have been, just how awful that Santos have been when it comes to possession, when it comes to passes completed, when it comes to touches on the ball. And when you see that, it just made me think that, man, this could really be a very, very one-sided series. This could be...
But I think that's intentional. I think Caixinha plays it that way. I think he knows that's how he set up his team. It's almost like a Mourinho style. They concede possession. They feel better, almost better, when they're not in possession, if you know what I mean. And they control the spaces and then hit hard. I don't know. I think Caixinha is doing that on purpose. I think he's not behind the door.
But they almost missed out on the playoffs using those tactics. It's not like it's provided them. And I know it's been a difficult season for them with a few of the players that have left. But it's not like, I don't know. I guess it wasn't until the end of the season that they really started doing well. And thanks to Calderon and thanks to Renteria, who have been scoring a lot recently. I mean, if it wasn't for them, they could have easily been out of the playoffs. And they're really, really lucky to be in the situation that they're at right now.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, it's been a difficult time for Santos. I think they've done exceptionally well, to be honest, to get into the Liguilla. Just because, I mean, they've lost a few of the league's very best players over the last few seasons. Not just their best players, but you could argue that Oribe Peralta, Darwin Quintero have been a couple of the best players over the last 4 or 5 years in the Liga MX. So to come back and to make this playoff first time round, I think is great. I was going to point out one other thing. The goalkeepers in this game, both called up to Argentina for the Copa America. Mm-hmm. One of them might be missing out. Marchesín from Santos Laguna and Nahuel Guzman. So that's going to be an interesting little battle just from an Argentine point of view.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe Marchesín has been excellent. He's been really, really excellent for Santos this season. I think he's done a great job. So maybe with a few good performances from a few good saves, they could be sneaking past them. I doubt it, to be honest, but you never know.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Any other thoughts on Santos versus Tigres, or should we move on to Pachuca and America?
I mean, just quick. I mean, as a side note, Pulpo Gonzalez and Marchesín have been good signings for Santos, and they have been good signings for Liga MX. I mean, every time you see a club signing good players that are actually beneficial for the team, that's always good. It's a good example there.
No, that's an excellent point as well. Johnny, any last thoughts before we move on to this? They're called America or something. I don't know if you heard of them.
Yeah, small little team. We'll get to once we're done with the important stuff. Now, Santos Tigres. The key is going to be in the first leg, where Tigres will have their strong squad, and if they get some goals, those are going to be some away goals. Tigres are looking to seal this in the first leg. So if you make sure to watch one game of this series, make sure it's the first leg.
Yeah, and then coming back, even with the tie, you'd imagine they'd be extremely comfortable, at their home stadium, which is where it's an intimidating atmosphere for any team to go up and play against Tigres in their home stadium. All right, so let's move on to Pachuca versus America. Let's go over to Naive first on this. Naive, thoughts on Pachuca and America?
No, it's a series that brings both teams were in the CONCACAF Champions League tournament, so both teams played 2 tournaments basically during the season. Pachuca got eliminated earlier by the finalists Impact, and America beat Impact. It's important for Pachuca to have Chucky Lozano and Guti Gutierrez in this series, because they're really fundamental. I might be a little bit contrary, posted, because I think these players should already be in Australia training with the youth 20 team, but it is what it is. America has been going on the up since winning the CONCACAF Championship over there in Montreal, and that it looks, you can tell from the players, there's radiance and the confidence that the players have, and that's key. And I mean, Matosas knows how to handle these scenarios. He already did it with León, and now he has it with America.
No, that's a great point. Is that I know some people are a little bit skeptical of the form that America have had recently, but he's done it before. He's gotten titles when he needs titles. There were criticism of him for the CONCACAF Champions League. Yeah, it was ugly. He ended up getting the title. That one season with Leon, that was in 2014. It looked pretty bad. They snuck in 8th place, and then they ended up winning the title as well. So it looks, Liguilla and like in these playoff positions could be areas where he really thrives. So, and with the options that he has available on the team, it wouldn't be too surprising to see America do well. I mean, I hope not, but.
Yeah. I mean, I think that America were in Guadalajara on Saturday. They defeated Atlas, and they were here a couple of weeks ago, just before the second leg of the CONCACAF Champions League final against Montreal. And honestly, I just from being at both of them, like the difference in terms of the atmosphere around them. I don't know if reading too much into it, but you look at the press conference after the game against Chivas, which finished a draw, and Matosas was going on about the players being tired, the schedule, it was really difficult. And you look at someone like Darwin Quintero's performance, who just didn't show up. And then a couple of weeks later, when they come to Atlas, and you got Quintero like trying things again, having that confidence to try things. And then Matosas after the game's talking about, my America team now is used to playing midweek, weekend, and that's an advantage for us. We're used to it now. So, I think that's been the change with America. I think this is going to be an absolutely great series. I think America are going to shade it because I think they've got more firepower. But the two Uruguayan coaches, Matosas and Alonso, I think both very attacking. I think so. I think it's going to be explosive. But I just think the key is that in Benedetto, Quintero, and Peralta, I just think they've got more than Dam, Lozano, and who will it be? And who's up front for Nahuelpan? For
Danich sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. But I just think that's where I think that's where America's going to edge it.
Yeah. Johnny, what are your thoughts on America? What are your thoughts on Pachuca? What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, I think I still have zero faith in Matos' system. I think it's all going to be decided by the skill of Sambuesa and Benedetto put together.
If he wins the title, would you still want him? Would you still want to keep him for another season?
Maybe another 6 months, but
Okay.
I need to see a lot more improvement in the way America play as a whole, because against Atlas they were heading towards a loss, and just Benedetto showed up and a set piece there that Paul Aguilar found. I don't see Matosas' hand. Well, I do see the Matosas' hand when the team is stretched out defensively, when they're left one-on-ones in the back, when Moises Munoz has to come off his line and make terrible decisions and just have the ball slip by him like the Atlas goal. So I think the series is going to be the series, and even the championship. I think between Sambuesa and Benedetto, maybe even Peralta if he wakes up on a good day. Yeah. I think between those two Argentines, they can carry America to another championship.
Okay. So it seems like you're pretty confident that they'll win this series then.
Oh yes, the series definitely.
Just a little bit more thoughts about the series. I mean, it's interesting with Rodo Pizarro. We consider him a right wing back and most like a right back, but this season with Alonso, he's actually played more as a midfielder and appears more as a right mid. That's another interesting thing that I've seen with Pizarro. Interchanging roles with Jürgen Damm sometimes. That could be something to worry about for America, like Johnny said about the defense sometimes breaking down easily. It's going to be important for Chepe Guerrero, who actually already is basically in the lineup more than Pellerano, to kind of have all that together. Because with those kids, Chucky, Pizarro, and Dam, if they get that passage on the left flank, which is defended by Zamudio, it could be a little bit of trouble there.
No, they're definitely off the races. There's a lot of. And I at first I had America, easily winning this, but then now that those U20 players are sticking back, I think Pachuca has a chance. It's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. I think could potentially see a lot of goals in this series. I think it could be a pretty good one. All right, so let's move on to Thursday's game, which is going to be between Querétaro and Veracruz. So we're going to go over to you, Johnny, first. What are your thoughts on Querétaro and Veracruz?
I think this is a the most even series. I think Veracruz are managed by a good tactician, someone who's been around the game for a long time, like Carlos Reynoso, and Carlos Reynoso has been in this team now for his second season or third season there, and he's gotten the team to play like he wants them to, and it's no I mean, it is a surprise that they were at the top of the table, but when Maestro Reynoso gets his players to do what he wants them to, these are the type of results that produce. And then Querétaro also, they have a brilliant manager in Vucetich, so I think this going to be a nice battle between tacticians. I think Veracruz might just edge this one out though, based
I,
on
I thought
based on Julio Furch.
I thought this was Reynoso's first season with Veracruz.
Well,
I might be wrong. I don't know.
He was assistant coach.
He was an assistant
That's
last
right.
season, but he really wasn't an assistant.
That's right.
Yeah, this game. Yeah, I mean, I think what Johnny said there is very close. It's a difficult one to pick, this one. It's probably the least glamorous of them all as well, despite having Ronaldinho. I mean,
we'll come on the last 20 minutes of the game.
I mean, this game really should be all about Ronaldinho, but it's completely not. And you could make the argument that Veracruz and under Vucetich and just in general has come to life as soon as Ronaldinho has gone to the bench. I mean, you could probably work out the stats, about how many they've won when he started and how many they've won when he started on the bench, and it'd definitely be on the side of him, the team being better off when he's on the bench, which is a bit sad in a way, to be honest, but that's the way it is. Yeah, I mean, Orbelin Pineda, what a player he's turning out to be. He's definitely the one to watch here. Veracruz, I think, probably the most direct team in the Liguilla. They've got really tall players, physically strong, very difficult to beat. They've lost the fewest games of any team, so they're a hard nut to crack, so to speak. So I'm expecting a really, really tight series, and I think the first leg is going to be a little bit boring because I think both managers will want to be keeping it as tight as possible for the second leg. I don't think there's going to be any risk taken by either Reynoso or Vucetich.
It's interesting to bring up Ronaldinho because I'm pretty sure he's even scored more of his goals coming off the bench as well. I think when he has, I think that's when he's actually done better. But quick question for you guys: if any of you were in charge, would you actually start Ronaldinho?
No.
No consensus.
It doesn't look like he's going to contribute. I mean, he does like the odd nice flick, but to be honest, like in terms of getting the team playing, he's just not done it. I mean, you can see how Ronaldinho could work in a team that is absolutely focused around him and everybody else is working twice as hard. But Vucetich doesn't put out that type of team, and he's right to do it. I think it's been a massive decision and really bold for him to drop Ronaldinho, and it's good for the institution, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny, you go first.
Yeah, I wouldn't even let him take the penalties. That's how little trust I have in Ronaldinho.
Yeah, I mean, you basically, when Ronaldinho was on the pitch for Querétaro, they basically had one less player on the pitch. I mean, he didn't contribute that much. He did have the magic and stuff every now and then, but it was just sporadic. The thing with Veracruz, though, I do see Veracruz as the most consistent team in this Clausura. I mean, because from the start to finish in the 17 weeks, there's been the same consistent form. They even scored 4 on America. And that by itself is something. Also, Querétaro did it. But 3 losses. The losses came against Pachuca, against Cholos, and against Tigres. So I mean, it's a really consistent team. This Veracruz. It's not your glamorous team like you said, Tom, but it's the team that was fighting for relegation, and all of a sudden is one of the, in my opinion, one of the favorites to win this.
Do you reckon? Yeah, I don't know. I just can't see him winning it. You know what I mean? I know they're very well organised and everything. I'm not sure if they quite got the quality, but at the end of the day, what is it? 2, 4, 6 games away. So, and they've only lost 3 of the last 17. So why not in a way? But I think it's going to be a real tactical battle, this one.
then again, more random stats. Out of their last like 7, they've only won 1 game now, and it's almost like they're still the same team where they were last season, except I mean they've kept those ridiculous amount of ties, but instead of having all those losses now, they have all those wins now, and that's. I think they aren't coming into this playoff series with the best form, and I know that sometimes happens to teams when they do really well to start with the season, and then at the very end they kind of they don't put as much effort. But I think that's something to consider as well for Veracruz.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So now the big one, Chivas and Atlas. Tom, you're over there in Guadalajara. How is it?
Chivas Atlas.
Yeah, how's it like? How's the atmosphere? Are people already celebrating? People already having a good time?
Yeah, well, I mean, I went down to Chivas the training today for Chepo's press conference, and I don't know, just busy, just a lot of press there. Tomas Boy did one a couple of hours before. It is what it is. It's a massive game. It's the biggest Clásico Tapatio in a lot of years. It just makes a massive change being in Guadalajara and having 2 teams that are in the playoffs, and one of them is going to be in the semi. So that's good for me. I want to say Atlas because I think they've been, if you look at it, apart from Tigres in America, Atlas have got more points than any other team in the last 2 seasons, and they're only 1 point behind Tigres in America in terms of the regular season. But obviously there's that big question mark. Tomas Boy has never won a title. Atlas pretty much have never won a title apart from 1951. So
they won in 1951.
1951, yeah, but I mean, so. But with the way Atlas are playing, I think they're playing all right. I thought they were a bit unlucky against America, not to at least get a draw. But this is Atlas, and they always seem to find a way. And I think that from the Chivas perspective, this is exactly the type of game they need, because they have been in a bit of a slump the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And I think to really get them out of that, there's nothing better than playing your local rivals. And I think it's going to be both games I think are going to be absolutely brilliant. Yeah. The Clásico Tapatio back in April was one of the best games of the whole regular season. Remember Panchito González, Panenka kick in the very last minute. In terms of entertainment, you don't get any better than that. And I think that's what we're going to see. I think if Chivas were really, really clever and intelligent about it, they'd train Atlas on the break, because Atlas have had real problems over the last 6 to 9 months of teams that play them on the counter-attack. But I just don't think in a Clásico that Chivas have the discipline or necessarily the will to do that. I think that both teams are just going to go at it, and it's going to be brilliant.
I don't know. I think you really think Chepo de la Torre is the type of manager to just go all out attack? I think he will hold back. I think that's his nature. I don't think he knows how to do anything else.
But a strong defense can still take you pretty far in the playoffs, though. I think that's you get an odd goal, you win 1-0, you hold a team 0-0, and that's enough to take you to the semifinals. And it looks like the defense is going to be healthy enough as well for the series. So with Salcedo back to Pereira, so I think Chivas will be all right.
Yeah, I think I mean, I don't think they're going to go absolutely all out. You know what I mean? But I think I don't think they're going to go into a shell. I don't think there's a way. I think there's a bit of I think it's been overplayed how defensive Chepo is. I think he is primarily. He seeks to defend, and the best example of that is you talk to the fullbacks, Raul Lopez and Ponce, and if you speak to them, they say, no, our primary duty is to defend. Then if we get the chance to go forward and put a couple of crosses in the box, then we will do. But first of all, defend, which is very different to what's going on. Basically, I mean, there's obviously a change in the fullback position at the minute, and the changes that they fly forward a lot more, and Chepo does go against that.
Yeah, I think this series out of the 4, this is the one that's tight. It's more tight, I think. I mean, it's either way. It could go either way. I mean, both teams are in Guadalajara. Gotta travel or anything. Even though all of the series that we're talking about, the 4 games finished with a tie during the regular season. Well, this one, it has that sense. I'm a little bit worried with Chivas. I think Chivas is going to take it, but if I'm worried about it, it's Fabian not showing up that much. I don't know if Reina might have more chances. in this series, and I think that would help Chivas a little bit more.
Yeah, well,
And
now
I've
that
been really
Brizuela's out,
impressed.
yeah.
Yeah, and I've been really impressed with Chaton's last games. The one in Universitario, and then the one this weekend. You know, you have that type of guy in the midfield that is actually, tall and wins every single air ball.
Yeah.
That's an advantage for any team.
But that's what Veracruz have with that Peñalba,
Yeah.
no? There's that huge guy in the centre of midfield. But Chaton, you look at him now, and I was there today. He's absolutely beef. I'm not joking. He's just like, because remember in the Olympics he was this like skinny frame, and now you look at him like it's like you said, he played well when he came in against Tigres, and I just don't think Chepo's gonna. I don't think there's any chance Chepo's gonna change it up. I mean, I think Chaton's probably on his way out of Chivas at the end of the season, and I think he's basically going to keep that same team. And I think the only change will be because Brizuela's injured. I think that Reina will come on. So I thought Reina looked really good. I thought he looked really hungry when he came on against Morelia on Sunday. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be intense.
There you go. It's going to be. Carlos Salcido is going to score 15 goals. It'll be fine. There are going to be long range efforts, just beautiful 50-yard shots. I think that's what's going to happen. All right, so let's go to the predictions. Let's go over to Johnny first. Johnny, who do you think will be the final four?
Santos, America, Veracruz, Atlas.
Santos, America, Veracruz. So you think Tigres are going to lose the first one? Or you lose the series?
Yeah, I can see an upset, like away goal tie.
Wow. All right. We heard it from John. What about you, Naib? Who do you think the final four are going to be?
My final four is Tigres, America, Veracruz, Chivas, and I'm gonna go all out. I think there's gonna be a super clásico final. This is the best appetizer for a busy summer for El Tri, to have the Super Clásico as a final. I'm saying it right now.
That'd be intense.
Tom, who are your final four?
I'm going to go Tigres, but then again, what Johnny was saying, I wouldn't rule anything out there, especially just because Tigres have got this Copa Libertadores, and you just never know the effect. Traditionally, historically, Mexican teams that are involved in the Libertadores mess up along the way. It all gets to them. It all just piles up. The tiredness and the travelling all just comes together, and they suffer. So got to watch out for that with Tigres. But you still have to. For me, you have to say they're going to do it. America, more firepower than Pachuca.
Yeah.
Will be a good game. The one I find really most difficult to predict is Veracruz Querétaro.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Querétaro just because they're coming into this in good form. Vucetich has got him playing well. I think he's played 10 games under Vucetich, and I think it's 7 wins, 3 losses. So, they're coming in form, and I'm going to go Chivas because I want to say Atlas by a little bit, but Atlas always find a way. They always find a way of messing up, and I just can't see it being any different this time around.
All right, I got pretty much the same. I got Tigres, I got America, I got Querétaro, and I got Chivas. I wonder, maybe we should. Forgot the name of the guy on Twitter who talks about Tigres a lot. I wonder if Tigres fans would rather have the team win the Copa America, or the Copa America, the Copa, that's our B team we're sending. No, I wonder if they would rather win the Libertadores, or if they would rather win this title for the Liguilla.
I'd say Libertadores, just by judging what people said. I think people know that there's 2 leagues a season in Mexico. The Libertadores comes around so infrequently that I think you have to go for Libertadores. I mean, it'd be historic. It'd be absolutely huge for Mexican football.
Yeah, that would be pretty massive. All right, so we got our predictions. I think we've discussed enough. Any final thoughts before we say goodbye and actually see what happens tomorrow?
It's a difficult one.
Chicharito could play tomorrow.
There you go. Yeah, that's right. Champions League. Anything else, or are we just ending it with Chicharito could play tomorrow?
Chicharito might play.
Chicharito might play.
All right, and I'm ending it with Chicharito might play. All right, well, thanks, guys. Good chat. We'll see what happens. I mean, it should be Should be exciting. It should be fun. We've been waiting 17 weeks for this, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thanks to everyone who was chatting on the side. Actually, I didn't get a chance to read any of these. Once again, this is why Wiso does it more often than I do. I didn't come in with an intro. I didn't even introduce these guys. But either way, it's still pretty fun. All right, guys. Well, thanks for chatting, and we'll see you next time.